Hello. Our next machine that we are going to be working on is the sliding table saw. A couple of things that you need to know about the sliding table saw is this is the tracking area that slides. We have our on switch and our off switch. A later time you will learn about this green switch. And then to raise and lower the blade, just like on the other table saws that I have taught you, directly below on the operation side is where we will raise and lower our blade. The difference between this saw and the other saw that you use, when I told you on the other saws, I had you go through and set the blade so it was about 1/8 of an inch above your material that you are going to cut. On this one, we are going to set the blade so that it is about 1 inch taller and you will just get a much cleaner cut. Now that I have my blade set up, I will now bring my sliding portion of my table back so that it is on the front side of the blade. I will take my board, set it on here, and much like the motorized miter box or chop saw, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to trim this one end, and we are going to take about the width of the blade, or maybe up to about 1/4 of an inch, to square this one end. The other thing that we need to do is we need to get a handy dandy trusty little quick grip to help hold our material that we are going to cut. So to set this up, we are going to take our quick grip, and if you have never used one, you are going to take this portion of it, and it allows it to move quickly, and then I will tighten it up by running this portion of it. So I set up my material so I am about 1/8 of an inch over so that I can square it. I will then take my quick grip and I will set it so that it is on the other side of the fence. I will squeeze a couple of times to get it so that it's nice and tight. And then I will turn my machine on to make my cut. To turn the machine on, the first thing that you will need to do is this red button right here, you will need to twist back towards yourself because it is the emergency stop so that you will release that. And then I will push the green button closest to the glue table to turn it on. I will then take my hand and hold on firmly with the back heel of my hand and my front hand and walk it all the way through. When I am all the way past, turn it off and let the blade come to a complete dead stop. Now I can release my clamp, bring my material back, and then now I can cut it to my certain sizes. Being that this is my squared end right here, I will take it and mark it so that I know this is my good end. And now I have to cut something that's only going to be about 5 inches long. So one of the things that I will do is, you will then release this handle, slide this back so that the front end is flush and even. Tighten that back up, and then I will loosen this knob and lift up this little handle, and I will slide it to my desired size that my measurement is right here. And so I will set it at 5 inches, push that back down to lock, tighten up my knob, and then I am ready to set myself up again to make a cut. I have it up against my fence nice and tight. I have it up against my fence nice and tight. I have set my clamp and I have tightened it up. The reason that I have moved my fence back is because I have to allow clearance on that side when I finish cutting. Or what will happen is that little tiny piece of wood will shoot back at a high rate of speed. So never stand behind this saw when somebody is operating it. So now I can turn my machine back on Release the red button by twisting it a little towards me, turning it on, letting it get to full speed. And make sure that you push it far enough past through, turn it off, and now I have my 5-inch piece that I wanted. Now, if I am going to cut a piece that is 24 inches long, if I was going to cut something 24 inches long, it would not be very safe if I was to set it up like this, because I don't have enough material to hold on to. So what I am going to do is I will loosen up this lever right here, and then there's a little magnifying glass that I will set it at 24 inches. Just snug that up. You only need 2 fingers to tighten it. And now I will take that end that we have been cutting, that is nice and square, and I will put it up against this edge of my gauge. So now I can cut a 24-inch piece. I will set my quick grip back up, snug it up, and remember, left hand here with the heel in, right hand on the back side, and I'm out of the path of the blade, so I am operating it safely. Turn the red knob a little towards you, turn it back on. Always wait for the machine to make a complete stop before you go after your pieces of wood. You can clear your area, put your clamp back over on the clamp table, and the one thing to remember before you are all done is go back to the black wheel and return the blade back to its beginning position below the saw. If you follow these steps, it is a safe way to operate our sliding table saw.